Hello everyone, I am Plankera, and today we're going to continue drawing Ines from Arknights. Yesterday I started working on a lot of background stuff, and I guess before I get back into finishing off the hair, now that I think the spiral sword is in a state that's good enough for now, I wanted to take another look at this arm. I've been having some trouble with it. I'm gonna go hide some layers to hopefully make my life a little bit simpler. So let's see. Yeah, I think that position is fine for the hand. I was just doing the pose myself to make sure that I had everything going the right direction. I do have a tendency to draw hands and stuff like that backwards. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't the case here. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth this out real quick. Now for an experiment. Can I get away with having, like, this sleeve opening up around here? What would that look like? Because it's like, I remember when I checked it before, I didn't really like the way it looked, but I wanted to give it another look. Yeah, I just don't like the extra layer of red there. Okay. I just wanted to try to add in something to make it look a little bit more like her gloves. Since technically the gloves should go all the way up to the wrist. But I just don't like this being black. So I'm gonna kinda have to fake it. Act like it was pulled down. This is why I wanted to work on this part when I had a bit of a fresher mind. But at the very least, with part of it covered, I have a little bit less to worry about. Sometimes certain parts just do not cooperate with me, and arms have always been that for me. Oh, is that not this layer? Oh, no, it is. Let's take a look down here. Just gonna get rid of that for now. Until I get the shape of this arm correct. Actually, all things considered, I probably want to hide the entire body just so that there's not a bunch of white parts down there that are gonna get lost in the arm. So I think part of what's making me not like the way it looks is around the wrist. So right now, I'm taking a look at the wrist. Trying to make it a little bit less chunky. For some reason, just her arm is looking a little bit thick there, so I'm trying to make it look a little bit less thick. There we go. Okay, so when I draw arms, I do like to try to keep a little bit of the meat of the muscle on there, especially with characters that don't look super skinny. Like, some Arknights characters have really skinny limbs and thighs, but I don't think Ines is one of them. He's always been a little bit on the fuller side. So I do want to make sure to kind of get the curves of the arm in there. I do think a lot of drawing anime characters like this is less about the exact proportions and more about the general impression. It's like you can kind of fake it. Just because anime in general isn't super realistic. So just aligning the parts so that it feels like the character. As opposed to what is, you know, actually going on, actually what it looks like, and that kind of thing. Kind of work out. That tends to be why we get so many anime characters with very similar looking faces, because those face shapes kind of became tropes in and of themselves. And when you see a character with, like, smaller eyes, you know that they're going to act differently than a character with big doe eyes. Alright. I think that's looking alright. Let's take a step back. Yeah, it's not looking overly thick anymore. I don't think I can be happy with that. Let's go smooth it out. We'll see if I feel like smoothing the knife out after. I'm not sure I do. I might just go and finish off the hair in the background first. Okay, to an extent, when you're drawing things, you can kind of put off the things that look a little bit scary. I tend to like to do those at the beginning of my drawing sessions. My brain is feeling a little bit fresher. It's like when you start getting tired, it's harder to do those harder parts. Oh, it's fine. It's like you don't want to avoid them because you're scared. I guess to an extent I do, but it's like you're gonna have to do them eventually. If you want it to exist in your picture, you gotta draw it. You just do. So don't procrastinate too hard, but a little bit of procrastination's okay. If it gets you drawing, that's the important part. Don't let it scare you off from not drawing at all. I think that goes for any creative project. It's like sometimes there's a part that just not working. You can wait until your brain's working a little bit better to start working on that. It's better to get something done rather than just mauled over a little piece that you don't necessarily have to get done right away. At least that's how I see it. That's why sometimes I'll just go in and draw the part that I want to draw. And it's fine. I don't want to give her the impression of fingernails here. There we go. I think that looks pretty cool. But the rest are going to be on the other side of her hand here, so we're not going to get to see any of them. I'm just gonna get this fairly smooth. And it's like, would you look at that? Well, this part that has given me a bit of worries and I was having some trouble with is just done in a flash. It's nice when it works out like that. It really is. Something like that. Okay, let's go turn the body back on. Make sure everything still looks good. Let's see here. Probably don't do it quite like that. I made a layer for the gloves, even though I probably didn't need to. Yep, and now I'm paying for my silly decisions. That's alright. It's not that big a deal. So I'm just trying to get the shape of the glove where it kind of shows the shoulder. And I remember that I wanted to keep this part dark, just because it looked weird when I didn't. So I guess that'll do for now. Let's go do the hair. So yesterday I was doing hair, and my arm just stopped cooperating with me, so I was like, you know, that sounds like a good time to go get some food. Go eat, revisit it tomorrow. That's just how it goes sometimes. Not every day. Be a good art day. And like, at least for me, I can tell when my hand isn't working anymore. For lack of a better term. Like, to an extent, your body can feel when it's just done. And sometimes it's worth pushing through, but sometimes it's really not. At that point, you might as well just go take a break, maybe go for a walk. Sometimes after a quick walk, I'll feel a little bit better and I can do some more drawing after that. Here we are. Kinda looks like I got most of it looking pretty good. I just remember being a little bit irritated with how my arm was moving. It's always funny to try to describe it because it's like I don't have control over my arm, but not exactly like that. It's not exactly clumsiness. Yeah, and I remember getting a couple of these strands just to cooperate with me was being pretty hard, being pretty difficult. I think I've cut off a bit too much there. There we go. It's kind of going in. I didn't like this particular thickness, so I'm going to add a strand through here. I think it looks a bit weird. There we go. That should be a little bit better. As much as I make fun of brains for not knowing what they're talking about half the time, sometimes they have some pretty good ideas. Okay. So now this big ol' strand. Should probably zoom out a little bit for that one first. Fortunately, this one is kind of outside the shadow, so I do have to draw it nicely. I was kind of hoping I could be lazy and I wouldn't have to, but this is not meant to be. Okay. Alright, this strand is pretty thick. But I'm pretty happy with the balance that I had before, so I'm just kind of trusting what I drew before. And I'm just going through and getting rid of all the lumpy parts. Like, right here looks a little bit lumpy to me. Not sure how else to describe this kind of weird angles through there. But then it's just kind of lumpy. I just want to go through and kind of shave off some of that lumpiness. Let me zoom out a little bit. As you can see, I got a little lump right there now too. The lumpiness isn't going away, it's not cooperating with me. I do have a bit of trouble in longer areas like this. I feel like you guys get to see all the things that I have trouble with more than the things that I don't, because the things that I don't, I just finish them quickly. The things that I struggle with, it's like it takes me so much longer to do it, so I have to come up with more stuff to say. Funny how that works out. Nope. I'm trying to rotate the canvas around. See if I can get a better angle to approach these last few lumps and get this straight. It's like it's hair, so a little bit of curvature is fine. Just don't want it to look lumpy. Right now I still think it looks a little bit lumpy. It's like last time when I said that for this style, the way things alias matters to me. I'm always afraid that's kind of what I'm seeing when I see some of these more subtle lumps. Okay, just trying to very carefully pull it across the screen there. Sorry for being quiet while I was doing that. I'm going to do a very careful stroke, and talking while I draw is still a little bit distracting for me. I didn't want to get too distracted while I was doing that. But I think I got most of it. I'll check again once I zoom out to 100% to check everything else. I don't want to cut off that much. There we go. And then over on this side. Like I do not have a naturally steady hand. Sometimes when I'm doing some of these strokes that really do require a steady hand, I really just want a little bit more focus than I otherwise would need to be. Okay. And then I think most of those tips are covered, so let me turn the shadow back on and see how much more of that I need to refine. Maybe a little bit through here. I think over here I'm just gonna fill this in. Okay. I see there's a little strand coming off over there, and I think that looks okay. Okay, so it looks like most of what I have to fix is just right through here. So I'm just gonna pull it back a little bit, make that shape a little bit nicer. There, it was kind of blocky, and that's a bit of a weird shape for hair, you know? You don't normally get squares in hair. It's typically triangles. And then I want to fix that a little bit. There we go. So how's it all looking? Are we looking lumpy? I don't think so. I think that looks pretty alright. Yeah, I'll do. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do the hair highlights now or after I did some work around the shirt here, but no, I think I will do them now. Okay. What is that? Is that just some extra from... Okay. Yeah, just a bit of extra from the lower arm there, so I just needed to clean that up real quick. So let's see, where do I want to put these highlights? I think I probably want some over here. Kind of vary up their thickness and all that good stuff. How close together they are, their size. Oh yeah, and that'll show where the arm is too. That's actually pretty convenient. Oh, that makes me happy. Put a baby one there. So right now I'm mostly focused on placing them. I'll go in and clean them up in a little bit. But I need to get them all in the right place. And make sure I like that. You can see mostly I work with these little N and V shapes. I don't like the way this looks at all. So I'm going back. Occasionally just kind of lines. Maybe just make this one more of an N shape. Sometimes if it's not cooperating, I'll just try something else. That's just how it goes sometimes. Alright. Do a thin one, maybe a baby one there. Right now they were feeling a little bit uniform, so I just wanted to fix that a little. How's that looking? Let me turn the shadow back on. Yeah, that looks like hair. So I'll start there. Just refine it. I don't have to stick to that completely. I can always add other little strands if I think it'll look better that way. It's like I am zoomed in, so I want to be a little bit careful doing that. But sometimes the hands just know, and I gotta believe them. And just know where something should go. I always add, like adding a bit of angularity to my hair highlights. I think I should think that if you make them too curvy, it makes the hair look not as soft. Not sure what adjective I'd use to describe how how curvy highlights make his hair look. But not soft, not shiny. And, well, that's just unfortunate. There we go. For highlights, I really do like to make sure that I get rid of most of the blobs. I just wanted to add a little shape out here. I remember that. Let's see if I can make that look good. Based on how the rest of these are, I think I actually want this one to be shorter, so I'm just gonna cut off the white parts in order to achieve the shape I want. Something like that. And I'll make it a bit shorter so this way there's a bit more variation in the length and thickness of the highlights. Just looks a bit weird when there's not. And I'll go in there. I definitely want to be very particular about the lumps in these highlights because this is white on black. So it's going to stand out. Pretty much everything in the style really stands out. Just so high contrast, always. Just trying to get the right thickness through there, because right now it's kinda... I might just need to rotate the canvas a little. Aliasing. This I'll have to do. Oops. Wrong color. But yeah, right now it's just getting thinner right through there, and I'm trying to... this part where it kind of blobs out a little bit closer to the same thickness. It is just not cooperating with me today. Been kind of like that all week. Always a bit unfortunate when that happens. But sometimes that happens, and all I can really do is try to push through. Like my only other option would be to not draw at all, and that's just too sad. Like, why would I want to go for a day where I don't even draw for an hour? A lot of my days used to be like that. I think my life is better now that, I no longer do that. I do draw every day. Even if it's just kind of doodling. There we go. And I'll extend this one a little bit. Make it taper off properly. I think that's fine. This one's a little bit too curvy, but I think the slight curve in this one is actually okay. Oh, baby one's too curvy, though. I don't want it to be that curvy. There we go. That's okay. And this is being cut off because of the sleeve up here. And that's a little bit blurry, so I need to... Let me actually hide the hair for a second and get this to be sharper. See, the edges are just a little bit blurry. And if we're gonna have the hair highlights show where this arm is, then I need to actually make sure that it's nice and clean. Not blurry at all. The style relies on being very, very crisp. No blurring allowed. Okay, that should be fine. Yeah, that's much better. Now just get these nice and straight and of a similar thickness. Okay. I want to keep this extra line. Let's try it. So far, from right here, I think it actually looks pretty neat. So let's keep it. Sometimes the hand does have good ideas. And you gotta recognize them. And we'll put a little thin one right here. Just to kind of bring it over to the edge. Okay. Might need to take a break from refining these highlights and go take a look at some other stuff. Although, nah. Okay, my hand is coming back. It's starting to feel a little bit better. Maybe you liked that I complimented it and said that it had some good ideas. But it does have some good ideas. You're doing a good job, hand. Keep up the good work. I believe in you. Okay. Alright. Would you look at that? I already finished the first strand. And just needs to keep up the good work and see if we can't get the rest of these in. See if we can't get the rest of these in. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted a tiny little baby one there. I think that looks good. I'll just go in. Ooh, and just having a bit of trouble again. For whatever reason, just does not like this particular angle. Let's take a look at something else for a little while. See if that'll put my hand in a better mood. Let's do a little on the shirt. For that, I need to actually hide the hair. I see that there's a little bit of the body peeking out through there, and I definitely don't want that. So it's kind of funny to me how strange things look when I start hiding layers. It's like I get used to how everything looks all together. And it's like, whoa, I actually am not neat at all when I draw like this. Or in general. Gonna have to hide her tummy too. There we go. It's like this is still a lot of refining, but I don't know. Sometimes when I switch which part I'm working on, my hand is like, okay, well this is something new and interesting. We'll be okay for a little bit. Especially if I'm just worrying about smoothness as opposed to getting everything a correct thickness. And we're just getting a little bit antsy there. Getting jittery. It's a bit hard to describe. And it kind of felt like lightning through my arm. So that's when I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'll listen to you, hand. We can go work on something else for a little while. And jump around a little bit. I'm gonna need to get all these pieces done before the picture's done anyway, so it's alright. Well, this wasn't quite what I drew before, but I think it looks alright, so we'll go ahead and keep it. Okay. How is this? Spin her back around. Oh no, that's quite lumpy, isn't it? Let's try again. The best part of that ribbon being there means that I can kind of take this in two halves. I might just have to fix it if I decide to move that ribbon around a little bit, but for now, I'll let it help me out. Make my life a little bit simpler. I probably won't move too much. And I go ahead and refine it, so it should be okay. Okay, gotta lock the layer now and start worrying about some of these other parts on the inside. Although, actually, yeah, even before I do that, should get where they intersect. Looking a little bit better. That was extremely lumpy. At some very harsh angles. Even here, I think, is a little bit lumpier than I want it to be. There we go. I'm just trying not to confuse lumpiness for the difference in thickness between this white part and all that. It's like right now I'm just trying to look at the outer edge. Okay. Okay. That should be good. I'm not sure if my hand wants to do thickness right now, so it might be time to jump to another part now that the outside is done. Because right now my hand does not want to sit still and be patient, so if it's going to be jittery and just do it at once, then, well, might as well try to get it to do something useful. It's not wanting to do that, so I'm going to move on to a different part. Let's work on this. I'll smooth out the edges of here. I guess today we're just going to do a lot of smoothing. Just a lot of smoothing. Focusing mostly on the outsides and not so much the insides. I think that's okay. I will have to smooth the outsides eventually, so why not right now? Well, it seems to be what my hand wants to do. Struggling a bit with that too, though, but that's alright. I think I can keep it going for another 15 minutes. I don't like how much thicker I made that. A little quiet while I try to get the angle on here just right. There we go. Alright, what do you think, hand? You want to try doing stuff with this? You want to give it a shot? Let me go take a look at a reference image again. Okay. I think I'm going to redraw this entirely. So here, there's some black at the bottom. I want to put that in. This time I did it via selection instead of a mask because I want this part to hang off a little bit. So I can't just have it stick on the pixels on the layer below like I could some other things. Okay. We have that little black layer down there, and then there's a little white bit coming up. Kinda like this. And it's fine if I go draw on the black layer. This little part needs to hang off a little bit. Just a little bit though, not too much. Okay. And then there's like a little triangle right over here. Something like that. And one more line, kind of parallel to the triangle. It goes a little bit further than the triangle, I believe. Yeah. Kinda heading into this line right there. Something like this. Okay. I can refine that a little. Let's see if my hand wants to deal with thickness, but it'll do its best. It's fine. It's fine. And if it can't, I'll just move on to a different spot. See if I can't find something I can do right now. Now that was looking a bit lumpy to me, so I wanted to go in and really go in and smooth out those lumps. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. Now I can go back to here and get all this nice and smooth. Assuming my hand wants to deal with thickness for the moment. No, it really doesn't. Okay. I'll try a different spot then. It's okay, sometimes it just works out like this. Turn all my layers back on. See which part will be good to do next. Maybe I should do a little bit of the background. The background I can be pretty free with. And just kind of do what I want. There's a lot of smoothing that needs to be done here and lots of opacity that needs to be fixed, so I won't find any shortage of stuff to do here. Yeah, I really am gonna have to just kind of really go through, find all these little spots that have just been made a little bit transparent. Actually, while I'm here, I've been meaning to fix the location of that horn. Let's take a look. Okay, got a little bit of that horn back there. Okay. Or do I want more than that? Oh, this way's fine. I can keep them fairly parallel. And then I'll just clean up around here a little bit. There we go. Draw the rest of this ear back in. No problem. Okay. Back to what I was doing. Back to your regularly scheduled smoothing. Here I don't have to worry about thickness so much, so we'll see if my hand can handle this for another 10 minutes. Or it's just gonna get antsy on me again. Don't know why it's being like that today, but it is. And it's really hard to draw when it gets like that. I'll go ahead and smooth out this ear, why not? It's right here. I'm gonna have to do it eventually, so why not now? Don't worry about it. And I'm definitely gonna have to go in probably with the bright neon green layer to really make sure that I took care of all the parts that are not just one solid color and has some opacity to them. Wouldn't be such a big deal if this wasn't going to be on a transparent background, but it is going to be on a transparent background, so I actually have to care. Fortunate indeed. Oh, actually that looked alright. Yeah, sure, we'll keep it. I do need to smooth out this end before I can draw that, though. Good idea, hand. Keep giving me good ideas. I appreciate it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just putting in some little shapes that kind of look like embers. Just saw some spots that looked like they might have had a little bit of opacity to them, so I had to stamp that out. Can't have that. Everything must be 100 or 0. Nothing in between. And now I'll just go in. There we go. I'm gonna zoom in on this one a little bit just to make sure I didn't miss some amount of opacity. So it looks like I missed a couple of spots here. There we go. What's the hazard of using the smudge tool to help me create all these shapes? Like, I think it was necessary and I got some pretty good shapes out of it, but now I actually have to go back in and get rid of all this mist. Like, you can see all the haze here. I will have to get rid of all of that by the time the picture's done. It's probably going to take a little bit. And be a little bit of suffering. Maybe a lot of suffering. We shall see. At the very least, it looks like it's going to be a little bit painful. Oh man. That's a lot of... That's a lot of little things that won't look good if I don't fix it. I just feel like it needs something right there, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'll worry about it later. My brain does not feel like making this decision right now. I guess that's fine. Make it a little more pronounced. There we go. And that looked neat, so I'll keep it like that. Stick this one out a little bit more. And just stop it from being too samey. Okay. Got a nice big shape right there. It'd be hard to find all those little spots in the middle too, but I will have to if I want it to look good. It's okay, I believe in myself. I have at least decent eyes. I can figure it out. Something like that I think might look cool. So far my hand has managed to pull through. There's only a few more minutes until the hour that I insist on drawing every day is up. I'll probably give my hand a little rest after that. And just because it's struggling so much. It's doing its best. It's definitely given me some good ideas. It has really cleaned up a lot of this very nicely. But right now it seems like it wants a little break from this area, so let's go to a little bit more of a rigid area, and I'll work on these hooves. And the snout. This I want to keep fairly straight. It doesn't have to be completely straight because goats are an organic object. So they can have a little bit of curvature to them. It's not quite like the horns where those should be really, really straight. And they can be only a little bit straight. There we go. Yeah, this is working out. Unfortunately, I think this area is in a state where I probably won't be changing it too much, so it's okay to just kind of go in and smooth it. I've already pretty much got it the way I want it to be. Wonderful. Wonderful. I don't want this to be like 90 degrees. I want it to be rounded off on the edge there. And there we go. I think that's pretty alright. I guess I'll go into the red part. And I'll just get a little bit of smoothing in here. Won't be too difficult. Just go in and make all these parts line up perfectly. You can kind of see the corner, the hoof there. There we go. Just want to make sure that this is a straight line and it doesn't veer into the rest of the shadow. It won't look as good if I do that. Just trying to get rid of the last couple of lumps through here. See if I can do it today. Alright, and then I'll just smooth out over here. Perfect. And back down to the original layer to round things off over here so it's not quite so square. There we go. Actually, let me right through here. Alright, I think that's where I will leave it for today. Well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative works, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, message me on Twitter or Instagram, or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. Goodbye.